What's up, guys? This is my story for Toxicology this week, Dumbing It Down. So, Dumbing It Down is about this guy named Rusty Witt. Rusty was always the smartest kid in school, and basically everything came natural to him. He actually had a photographic memory. His family realized he had a gift when he was just 2.5 years old when they were on a family vacation, and Rusty gave his parents directions and a complete description of the hotel, including the surrounding buildings after they got lost, and they passed it very briefly. He was able to tell how many cars were in the parking lot and even what color the flowers in front were. He was even able to say to his parents in the order in which the cars were lined up in the parking lot. Rusty and his parents did not want him to stand out amongst the other kids in his age. They wanted him to have a normal childhood. However, school came so easy for Rusty due to his unique ability that he was able to skip a few grades. By the time he was 16 years old, he was able to go to college. To celebrate his last summer before college, Rusty and his parents went on vacation to an island in Greece. And while they were there, unfortunately there was an accident. While being driven around the island in their van, the driver had to veer out of the way of an oncoming van and ended up swerving and tumbling into a ravine. Sadly, Rusty's parents died in the crash, and Rusty suffered some broken bones, as well as a severe concussion, which is the same injuries the van driver sustained. Rusty was in a coma for a few months. When he came to, he could only remember seeing the oncoming van, but had no recollection of the accident itself. Rusty learned of his parents' passing and became deeply depressed. Rusty's uncle Robert came to bring his nephew back to the United States. He stayed at his uncle's home for about a year while recovering from his injuries. The school let Rusty postpone his enrollment for a year due to the unfortunate circumstances. When he finally began school, he was still a year younger than everybody else in his class, so he was only about 17 years old. Luckily, the crash didn't affect Rusty's photographic memory or intelligence. Rusty had to take medication every day to help him with the migraines, however, which were a result of the accident. Rusty was interested in joining a fraternity on campus, and because of this, he drank every once in a while on the weekends, which was not smart with his medication, because that's a very bad thing to do. One night, Rusty felt dizzy and could barely even talk. His friends accompanied him home and didn't give it a second thought on how he was feeling. After a few weeks went by and Rusty's cognitive abilities began to decline, he struggled to pay attention in class and his A's slipped to B's. His advisor simply told him to study and told him that college is much more difficult than high school. One weekend, Rusty wanted to stop and get food at home while on the way back to his uncle's house, which is a long drive, so a few hours. So after a few hours, he stopped to get food, and he ended up driving onto the sidewalk and hitting a traffic light pole. Luckily, no one was injured other than Rusty, so no pedestrians. Rusty was then tested because it was believed he was under the influence while driving. All the tests came back negative. The one drug that was found, though, was topiramate. I'm not sure how to pronounce that exactly, but I think it's topiramate. Dr. Carper, who was Rusty's doctor, had the author of this story research the drug. They found that a side effect of it was a cognitive decline as well as hindrance to verbal fluency, which is two problems that Rusty was having. He was having trouble speaking fluently, and his grades were on the decline. He was taken off the medication and prescribed a new one. The new medication worked wonders, and Rusty was back to his old self in no time. He was informed that he actually was issued a DUI for his accident, although he did not recall being given one, and the drug topiramate has never been linked to a DUI before. So the doctor who wrote the story testified on Rusty's behalf, talking about the effects of topiramate. And that's pretty much the whole story. So I found this story interesting, for one, because Rusty did not die like the past characters of all these stories do, which is usually always pretty sad. Also, I thought it was great to see that Rusty actually ended up bouncing back from his unfortunate decline. It was nice to see that he became just as smart as before, if not smarter. Most of these stories do not have great endings. Although most of Rusty's parents did pass away, it was not as sad as usual, because usually the main character always ends up dying from some really sad story. I'm still very confused on how Rusty passed out at the wheel. It seems as if the side effect to the drug might have been something that caused epileptic episodes, possibly, so that could be one reason. But other than that, I don't understand why he passed out. Lastly, the story does not say whether or not he was found not guilty for the DUI, but I'm assuming he was not guilty due to the doctor's great testimony. Thanks, guys.